Welcome to Mzansi Best Brands. Follow us as we look into the Heineken NV family brand. It was the first company to package beer in green bottles, a deliberate move to set the brand apart from competitors who mostly used brown bottles. Heineken's visual identity, including its logo, remains consistent worldwide to maintain its international appeal. Heineken's journey across Africa began decades ago as part of the global expansion of one of the world's largest beer brands. But what makes this story interesting is the deeper impact the company has had across African countries like South Africa. The Heineken brand, known worldwide for its premium beer, has intertwined its operations with the economies and communities across the continent, creating a lasting influence. Heineken is a patronymic surname meaning son of Little Hein. It was founded in 1864 by Gerard Adrian Heineken in Amsterdam. Ownership of Heineken Holding NV is controlled by the Heineken family, with a majority stake of 50.005%, giving the family control over strategic decisions. The Heineken company was founded when the 22-year-old Gerard Adrian Heineken bought a brewery known as De Hooiberg, or the Haystack, in Amsterdam. In 1869, Heineken switched to the use of bottom-fermenting yeast. In 1873, the brewery's name changed to Heineken's Beer Brewery Maatschappij, or HBM, and opened a second brewery in Rotterdam in 1874. In 1886, Dr. H. Elion, a pupil of the French chemist Louis Pasteur, developed the Heineken A yeast in the Heineken laboratory. This yeast is still the key ingredient of Heineken beer. The founder's son, Henry Pierre Heineken, managed the company from 1917 to 1940 and continued involvement with the company until 1951. During his tenure, Heineken developed techniques to maintain consistent beer quality during large-scale production. On the 1st of June 1941, the grandson of the company's founder, Alfred Henry Freddy Heineken, entered the service of the Heineken Company, which by then was no longer owned by the family. Freddy bought back stock several years later to ensure the family controlled the company again, and in 1971 was appointed chairman of the executive board. In 1983, Freddy was kidnapped and held for ransom. He was released after 3 weeks when a ransom of 35 million Dutch guilders was paid. The incident became one of the most famous criminal cases in Dutch history. He was a powerful force behind Heineken's continued global expansion, and while he retired from the executive board in 1989, he maintained involvement with the company until his death in 2002. During Freddy's tenure, Heineken tried to increase its stock price by purchasing competing breweries and closing them down. After World War II, many small breweries were bought or closed. In 1968, Heineken merged with its biggest competitor, Amstel, and in 1975 opened a new brewery in Zuurtewoud. The Amstel brewery was closed in 1980, and its production moved to Zuurtewoud and Den Bosch. Then Heineken formed joint ventures with companies like Diageo and Namibian breweries in markets across Africa in 2004 and established Brand House. Since mid-2007, Heineken has taken ownership of former S&N international brands such as Strongbow and Bulmers Ciders and John Smith's and Newcastle Brown Ale beers. With the part acquisition of Scottish and Newcastle in 2007 and 2008, Heineken became the third largest brewer based on revenues, behind the Belgian-Brazilian AB InBev and the British South African SAB. Heineken owns the Czech brand Dachiki, which was brewed in Kutna Hora from 1573 until Heineken took ownership of it and closed the brewery in 2009. In 2010, Heineken took over the beer operations of Mexican brewer FEMSA, gaining control over brands like Dos Equis and Sul, significantly boosting its footprint in Latin America. In 2012, Heineken acquired full control of APB, the maker of Tiger beer, in a $4.6 billion deal, strengthening its presence in Asia. In October 2016, Following the merger between Anheuser-Busch InBev and SABMiller, Heineken became the second largest brewer in the world. In 2017, Heineken faced criticism over alleged tax avoidance in African countries, leading to reputational challenges. Heineken has faced protests and scrutiny over labor practices in several countries, including layoffs and working conditions. Heineken's African adventure gained significant momentum in the early 20th century. The company expanded into African markets, becoming one of the most recognized beer brands in the region. Heineken engaged with Southern African countries, reinforcing its position as a prominent player within these growing markets. If you look closely at the Heineken logo, you'll notice that the three E letters in the name are slightly tilted backward, creating a smiling effect. This was introduced in the 1950s as part of a brand overhaul to make the beer more approachable and friendly. The distinctive red star has been part of the logo since the early days. Historically, it symbolized European brewing practices, but became controversial during the Cold War due to its association with communism. Heineken briefly removed the star, only to bring it back later as a heritage symbol. With an annual beer production of 24.14 billion liters and global revenues of 23.894 billion euro in 2019, Heineken N.V. owns over 165 breweries in more than 70 countries. Heineken's Dutch breweries are located in Zuiderwoude, Hertogenbosch and Weilre. The original brewery in Amsterdam, closed in 1988, is preserved as a museum called Heineken Experience. The Heineken Experience in Amsterdam allows visitors to dive into the history of the brand, explore the brewing process, and engage with the brand in an interactive environment. This flagship brand experience is a major part of their global brand storytelling. Heineken is known for thought-provoking social experiment ads, such as the Worlds Apart campaign, which brought together people with opposing views and showed how a shared beer could foster dialogue. As of 2019, it produces 348 international, regional, local and specialty beers and ciders, and employs approximately 85,000 people. Heineken has a strong presence in Africa, particularly in South Africa, where it focuses on both business and sustainability. In South Africa, Heineken's presence grew steadily, becoming a powerful player in the local beer market. The company's growth accelerated when it acquired Distel Group Holdings Limited in 2023, a major local beverage company which further cemented its position in the industry. This bold move allowed Heineken to not only expand its product line, but also serve a wider demographic across the country and beyond. Heineken's revenue reached 28.7 billion euros, with over 248 million hectoliters of beer sold worldwide. Heineken actively works on sustainability projects like Project Vuselela, which involves recycling non-returnable glass bottles. This initiative not only helps reduce waste, but also supports informal waste collectors, with 73% of them being women from townships and peri-urban areas. Heineken's focus extends to social responsibility campaigns, such as their underage drinking intervention programs in schools, which involve community stakeholders and tavern owners. They also promote responsible drinking through awareness campaigns that target binge drinking and fetal alcohol syndrome prevention in vulnerable populations. Marketing in South Africa includes partnerships with local distributors and extensive campaigns aimed at promoting responsible drinking. They allocate a portion of their media budget specifically to promoting moderation. Heineken's leadership, like Tutu Malinga, emphasizes the importance of responsible trading, alcohol education, and creating safer environments for communities near alcohol outlets. Heineken has been a long-time sponsor of the UEFA Champions League, one of the most watched sporting events globally. This sponsorship helps Heineken associate its brand with excitement and international appeal. Since 2016, Heineken has partnered with Formula One, giving it global visibility and aligning its brand with speed, excitement, and premium experiences. The When You Drive, Never Drink campaign also promotes responsible drinking within this sponsorship. Heineken is a major sponsor of the Rugby World Cup, further enhancing its connection with high-profile international sports. Heineken has introduced special editions such as personalized bottles and cans during major events, giving customers a sense of exclusivity. Heineken's active presence on platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube helps it connect with younger audiences. The brand often uses humor, user-generated content, and hashtags like #OpenYourWorld to foster engagement. The company has embraced digital engagement through tools like the Heineken Experience app, which allows users to interact with the brand through virtual tours of the brewery. Heineken's sustainability platform focuses on reducing its carbon footprint, promoting water conservation, and responsible sourcing of materials. This campaign is a key part of its marketing, promoting Heineken as an environmentally responsible company. In 2014, Heineken became one of the first major beer brands to experiment with plastic bottles. These were tested in a few markets to improve portability for events and festivals. The brand aims to use renewable energy to power 70% of its breweries by 2030, a key initiative that boosts its green credentials. In response to the rising demand for healthier lifestyles, Heineken launched Heineken 0.0, a non-alcoholic beer. It's marketed as a high-quality, refreshing beverage for those who want to avoid alcohol but still enjoy a beer-like experience. Heineken has made several notable acquisitions of local South African craft beer brands in 2017. Heineken acquired Stellenbrouw, a Stellenbosch-based craft brewery. Heineken also acquired a stake in Soweto Gold, a well-known brand created by the Soweto Brewing Company. Heineken eventually purchased a majority stake in Jack Black's brewing company. Unfortunately, the exact purchase amounts were never publicly disclosed. These acquisitions demonstrate Heineken's strategy to strengthen its presence in South Africa's growing craft beer market. Heineken has engaged in numerous sponsorships and partnerships across various industries, particularly in art, music, and fashion. Some notable collaborations include music festivals and live music events, such as being the official beverage partner for the St. Lucia Jazz Festival, and sponsoring events like Coachella, creating branded music events, and positioning itself as a beer for social and lively occasions. In street art and fashion, Heineken sponsored Lagos Fashion and Design Week in 2016, including its official after-party, blending fashion with art and technology to create a unique experience. Heineken has also partnered with cultural institutions, including a 3-year sponsorship of the Van Gogh Museum. As Heineken continues its aggressive expansion across Africa, its influence goes beyond just being a beer brand. It's a major economic player, a cultural supporter, and a company striving to shape Africa's future one market at a time. So the next time you see that iconic green bottle, think of the massive journey it has taken through the heart of Africa. Follow us for our next episode as we dive into the history of brands and how they've made their mark here in Mzansi. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of Mzansi Best Brands. Time will tell.